Dear friends, I am SP Verma, a law teacher, a professional. Today I am going to touch a very interesting topic, and the topic pertains to registration of FIR and investigation. As we all know, the police has power under CRPC 1973 to investigation offence if information is supplied to the concerned police station or police official. So in this case, the one thing is very clear: the investigation by police can only be done when the offence is cognizable one, and cognizable offences has been defined under section 2C of the CRPC, which says that in cognizable offences the police person can arrest the accused without any warrant. So he need not to have any orders or any warrant issued by the concerned magistrate or Ilaka magistrate or area magistrate, under whatever name it is known in the concerned states. There may be variation from state to state as per their local laws. So here what is done when an information is supplied to a police official under section 154 of the CRPC, he has to reduce it in writing, or you can submit the same information in writing also, which he has to enter in the daily diary, which is called as GDR, Journal Diary Report, or somewhere it is called also DDR, Daily Diary Report. In that report, he has to enter all the contents of the information supplied to him with regard to cognizable offence. If the offence is cognizable, and moreover, the police person can also ask you to sign that information also, after orally explaining to you, not without explaining. And the police officials are also obliged to supply a copy of the information also, that is the complaint. That copy also be supplied to the informant, whosoever gives the information to the police official. And from there on, the investigation process starts. Or in case the police official refuses to register the FIR, then you also have a remedy. Then what is the remedy? A remedy is there under subsection 3 of the section 154. That is there. Under subsection 3 of section 154, you can directly send a written complaint to the concerned superintendent of the police of the district. Then he has to take action on that. Either he can himself go to the spot to do investigation, or can depute any subordinate of his to do the investigation, or can mark your complaint to the concerned police station, whosoever is having jurisdiction with regard to that area. So there you have a remedy if the police official refuses to register your FIR. And then, because section 155 deals with the non-cognizable offence, non-cognizable offence pertains to those offences where a police official has to seek a warrant from the concerned police station. Then only he can do the investigation. Once the warrant is issued, only then he can arrest the concerned person. And in case the offences are multiple, suppose one or two offences are cognizable and other offences are non-cognizable. So even if one offence is cognizable, then all the offences will be dealt under cognizable offences, and he has to register an FIR. He is obliged under section 153 of subsection 3 of the section. And moreover, in case SSP also does not do the same thing, and your complaint is not given any attention, and that remains unacted upon, then you have one more remedy under section 156(3). In that case, you can submit an application to the concerned Ilaka magistrate also, with the prayer to direct the police authorities to register FIR and investigate. If you submit that application, then magistrate will pass an order on that. He may direct the police authorities to investigate the case, register the FIR, or if he does not find any such requirement, he has option also. The magistrate can directly deal with your application as a complaint also under section 200 of the CRPC, and then the same case will be dealt with the court by itself, not by the police officials. But in case the same is disposed of with the direction to police to register an FIR, then the police will do the investigation and will collect the evidence. Because under section 2H of the CRPC, investigation has been defined, and investigation pertains to what? For the collection of the evidence. Police has to collect all the evidence with regard to the alleged offense. Then one more thing is that investigation is further dealt under section 157. Here the concerned police official has to go to the spot and to investigate the facts and circumstances of the case, and to discover the evidence, and also to discover the weapon of offense also, and also if need be to arrest the offender also. But under 157, one more provision that the police officer can also deny you that I will not investigate the case, or I will not go to the spot. But in case that police official decides not to investigate the case, then he will have to prepare a report with reasons. He has to give reason in his report that why he will not investigate, and that report has to be countersigned by the superior officer also, not by himself, and that report will be presented to the concerned magistrate. Then in that case, there is again further remedy under the section 159. Under one section 59, the magistrate still can have another view on the same report, whether to investigate or not. Here the magistrate can do inquiry, and if the magistrate finds some substance, the magistrate can order for investigation of the case. Now, for the inquiry under 159, section 159, if the magistrate concerned orders an investigation, then under 166 of the CRPC, police personnel has the power to call the people for investigation, to record their statements. But there is an exception. That exception pertains to amendment of the 2013. In that case, under the proviso, it has been provided that the children below the age of 15 years or the person above the age of 65 years, women, physically disabled persons, they cannot be called to police station to record their statements. Rather, police officials are bound to record their statements at their residences only. And in case those persons are called for recording their statements other than their residence, then the police is bound to make them payment, a reasonable payment. And under section 161 of the CRPC, the police official concerned or the IO, investigating officer, can examine any person who is acquainted with the facts of the case or circumstances of the case, and that person is bound to answer whatever is asked by the police official. But here one catch is there, that such person has a right not to say such thing which can incriminate him, यानी जिसमें वो खुद फंसता हो, अगर वो चाहे तो वो बाउंड नहीं है उस स्टेटमेंट को रिकॉर्ड करने के लिए. तो ये एक उसके पास एक ऑप्शन है. Here he can record only such statement which he finds fit without giving any chance for his incrimination. Now under 162 ये कहता है कि अगर आप स्टेटमेंट कोई देते हो पुलिस वाले को, तो यू आर नॉट रिक्वायर्ड टू साइन दैट स्टेटमेंट, क्योंकि वो स्टेटमेंट जो है वो एविडेंस में यूज नहीं होती है. और अगर वो एविडेंस में यूज होंगी वो स्टेटमेंट फॉर कॉरोबोरेशन के लिए, तो उसमें उसको कोर्ट से परमिशन लेनी पड़ेगी अंडर सेक्शन 145 ऑफ द इंडियन एविडेंस एक्ट 1872, इवन इन केस ऑफ री एग्जामिनेशन आल्सो. सो दो स्टेटमेंट डज नॉट कैरी दैट मच वैल्यू. But under one section 63, there is a clear provision for recording that statement. The police official concerned cannot give any type of inducement, threat or promise to the witness to record a particular witness, particular statement in a particular manner, not like that. So here the police official cannot force, or if anybody wants to record his statement on his own free will, then he has to be allowed. Here the such police officer cannot refuse that person from recording his statement. And with regard to release of the accused, under section 169 there is a provision when after the investigation evidence is not sufficient, police is not able to gather that much evidence which is sufficient to bring the case before the court, then the police official concerned can release the accused on bail with surety or without surety also. Surety is required in case after further investigation if something credible is found against the accused, then he may be called to police station and to come to particular court also for facing the trial or inquiry. Then after the investigation is completed under section 173, the concerned police official is bound to present a police report, that is also called as police challan, and thereafter the concerned court, after taking the cognizance of the case, will start the trial after framing of the charges. So today we have dealt only up to this. In the next lecture we will go further. Thank you. Call the witness.